Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this one. Today, we are breaking down a late-night school trip that goes, well, completely and horribly wrong. We're basically stepping right into a classic nightmare, derived directly from our source material.
You know, it's actually amazing how fast the totally harmless adventure can turn into an absolute nightmare. The source material hits us with this chilling line right off the bat. If only they knew what was waiting for them at the lake. And really, this whole explainer is about the terrifying, sometimes deadly consequences of messing with the unknown.
Look at this contrast. These kids just wanted to pull off a legendary stunt, right? On a previous trip, two students had snuck out to this exact same lake at night and basically became school legends. Our guys, they literally just wanted a fun photo to chase that exact same fame. But the reality? Oh man, they were walking blindly into a desperate fight for survival in a haunted forest.
Section 1. The Midnight Escape Plan. So, it all starts with just three good friends, Ayu, Aman, and Rohan. It's super late at night, and their school bus, on its way to Shimla, unexpectedly breaks down. The teachers decide, okay, we gotta halt the journey, so the boys end up sharing a room together. They are absolutely thrilled to be hanging out, completely oblivious to what's waiting for them out there.
Now, the teachers did manage to book a nearby hotel, but get this place was completely isolated. We're talking entirely enveloped by dense, unforgiving dark woods and these towering mountains on both sides. And if you looked out their room window, you could see that mysterious lake right in the middle of the forest. It was practically daring them to make a move.
And here is their descent into total chaos. First, they wait for the hotel guard to nod off, then they sneak out into the night. Now, from their window, the lake actually looked pretty close. But as they keep walking for like half an hour, the path just endlessly stretches on. The intense, freezing cold of this deserted forest really starts setting in. And the kicker? When they finally pull out their phones to check the map, boom, zero cell service. It completely vanished. What was supposed to be a quick little excursion turned into this endless march into a literal dead zone.
Which brings us to Section 2, Lost in the Dark. So the big question here, where did Rohan go? As Aman and Ayu are stumbling around by just the weak light of their phone screens, they turn back to check on their buddy, and, heart-stopping moment right here, Rohan has just vanished. He was literally right behind them a second ago, and now, just pitch black.
So, naturally, blind panic sets in, right? Suddenly, they hear the sound of someone running nearby. Knowing they absolutely cannot leave their friend behind in this freezing wilderness, they just bravely follow these phantom footsteps deep into the silent forest, and then, the running abruptly stops. Instead, they hear something deeply, deeply unsettling. The visceral, physical sound of someone digging in the dirt, in the absolute dark.
Moving on to Section 3, the first possession.
Okay, so when they finally peer behind the bushes and call out to Rohan, the person who turns around, it was not Rohan anymore. His eyes were completely hollowed out, pitch black, like they'd been plucked right out of his skull. It's terrifying. When Adam nervously walks up and touches his shoulder, Rohan just unleashes this superhuman strength. He screams and actually throws Adam in a massive distance with impossible force, and then just collapses to the ground in these sudden, violent seizures. So Ayu, totally freaking out, frantically rushes over to try and wake Rohan up. But as Rohan regains consciousness, the absolute dread truly hits. Aman slowly looks up, and his eyes, they are pitch black too. Ayu has to watch in utter horror as his other friend lifts his head to reveal the exact same demonic, void-like eyes. The possession literally jumped.
This leads into Section 4, the Old Woman's Curse.
Aman suddenly leaps up and just sprints deep into the dark woods, heading straight toward this ancient rotting ruin. When Ayu and a now-recovered Rohan finally gather the guts to breach the ruins to save their friend, they are met with pure nightmare fuel. The source describes it perfectly. Aman was hanging unconscious in the air while a terrifying old woman with hanging skin and messy white hair spoke to him. Seriously, supernatural levitation and this horrifying entity just commanding the entire space. Terrified out of their absolute minds, the boys run for their lives. They bolt out the door. But when they look back over their shoulders, they see the old woman pursuing them. Only she isn't running. She is, quote, crawling down the stairs like an insect. It's this deeply unnatural, slithering pursuit that just cranks the terror up to an absolute 10.
So they are running blindly through the dark forest, trying to escape this insect-like thing, and they stumble right into the very lake they were originally looking for. They fall directly in,
pulled into the dark, freezing waters. Instantly, they feel this invisible, supernatural force just dragging them down beneath the surface. And Ayu, he has to watch helplessly as Rohan is pulled completely under, drowning right in front of his eyes.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, the tragic truth. Somehow, against all odds, Ayu actually manages to drag himself out of the water. He passes out on the shore from pure trauma, only to miraculously wake up back in his hotel room the very next morning. But the loss, it's devastating. He rushes outside to find this heavy police presence and two lifeless bodies, Aman and Rohan, wrapped in white sheets. And the ultimate tragedy here is that the police completely misunderstand the whole situation. They rule it a standard murder, totally blind to the supernatural reality of what actually happened.
But the locals, they know the truth, and they share the actual haunting lore. Turns out, years ago, greedy villagers coveted this innocent, peaceful old woman's land out in that forest. To steal her home, she was brutally assaulted, murdered, and her body was callously dumped right into that very forest lake. Now, her spirit just seeks eternal, violent revenge on literally anyone who approaches her domain at night. It's a classic, terrifying cycle. Human greed created an endless cycle of wrath.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, we really have to ask ourselves, are some places forbidden for a reason? It definitely leaves us with a chilling cautionary thought. What consequences actually await those who innocently, or, foolishly, trespass into spaces that harbor ancient, unresolved darkness? Let that linger in your mind the next time you think about taking a fun midnight stroll in the woods.